Greetings, Attorney Derek DeBrosse here, Munitions Group, munitionsgroup.com. Please follow us on social media. Please click that little icon in the bottom corner, that little bell, so make sure you subscribe to our channel. Always trying to keep bringing you current events and up-to-dates on what's going on in the gun world from a legal perspective. Today, I want to discuss something that came across my desk regarding some scuttlebutt in the firearms community. And it comes from actually a nonprofit. I believe it's a Empower Oversight. And I'm going to read you a little bit from the article that was forwarded to me. It says a watchdog group is demanding documents from the Biden administration after whistleblowers allege that a regulation is under development that would effectively ban private gun sales. So currently, for those of you that don't know, in most states, you can actually sell guns privately without a license. In Ohio, where we're located, for instance, the only thing that's generally regulated is the reckless transfer of a firearm, lending, giving, however you want to phrase it, but the giving of a firearm to somebody else, if you're unlicensed, if you do so recklessly knowing that person is basically a disabled, legally disabled person, meaning like a felon. So if I went over to Walmart and sold a pistol in the parking lot out of my car to somebody who I suspect to be a felon, I could be charged with a crime if they could prove to a court that I acted in a reckless manner. So generally speaking, though, if I'm on arms list or gun broker and you live down the street from me and you find out and I'm selling, I don't know, a Glock 19 and I invite you over and you give me some money, I give you the gun, that's generally speaking on its face legal. Now, where it becomes an issue historically, if I was doing it for business purposes, which was previously defined until 2022 as the principal objective of making a livelihood and profit. So I remember I defended somebody for selling guns without a license years ago at a gun show who was charged with a crime. He sold many, many guns, and he had about 1,000 guns, and he was at every gun show, a particular gun show, and he was eventually arrested. We defended him, and it wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't his objective to make a livelihood. He had a full-time job, was about to retire, and the arguable profits on the sale of guns was less than the poverty line. So we made that argument, ended up getting a good plea deal for the guy. He did, I think, like 4 months in federal prison and was out and retired and got his pension. Everything was good. But nevertheless, they have now changed that, so it's no longer livelihood and profit. Now it's predominantly to earn a profit. So livelihood has kind of been taken out, and that's thanks to Biden pushing forward what they like to term the 2022 Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, because that's going to make communities safer. Note my sarcasm, everybody. So anyhow, that's kind of where we came from. So historically, if you're selling guns and your principal objective was livelihood and profit, that necessitated the need for a license. And then during the Obama administration, actually, they came out with a publication. I think it's entitled, Do I Need an FFL? Which stands for Federal Firearms License. And in that publication, they even noted that, hey, even the sale of as many or as few as one gun could necessitate the need for a federal firearms license, which I tend to agree with the way the law is written, at least. Not implicitly do I agree with that under the Constitution, not necessarily, but the law does make it pretty clear, at least back then, that if you were doing this for business purposes as it was defined, you needed a license. So then again, just to reiterate, we changed that in 2022. Now you need a license if your predominant purpose is to make a profit. So when does anybody sell anything that they own with not that being at least an objective, right? At least a singular objective amongst other objectives potentially. So that's currently where we're at. So now this watchdog group got some information and they blew the whistle, and apparently this information came from within ATF. So the article actually makes note of that, hey, if people within the ATF are concerned about this, this could be a big problem. So let me continue the article. The group Empower Oversight said Wednesday that two sources have claimed that the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is preparing to propose a rule requiring background checks for most or all gun sales. So even under the 2022 amendment in the Safer Communities Act, still presumably if I'm not selling a gun with the predominant objective of making a profit, I could still sell the gun. But now it looks like Biden administration may be changing its tune even on that. President Biden has campaigned for stricter gun laws and in August proposed a regulation to clarify that people who repetitively sell guns must register as FFLs subject to background checks. The rule purportedly being crafted by the ATF would be even broader. Empower Oversight has learned through whistleblowers within ATF that at the direction of the White House, ATF has drafted a 1,300-page document to justify a rule. In my experience as a lawyer, anytime you need 1,300 pages to justify something tells me you're really reaching. But nevertheless, I'd be curious to see this justification of theirs, considering in the history of the United States, no interpretation of gun laws have ever stretched that far. I would just leave it at that for everybody. Just make sure you're reaching out to your congressmen, congresswomen, making sure that they know of your concerns. This makes it very difficult, even for people like myself. If I was trying to liquidate a collection, potentially, do I have to go get a license? And even if they kind of leave it into the unknown, that still doesn't give me a lot of comfort. So make sure you're reaching out to the appropriate people, your elected people, and make sure they know that we do not support this if it does come out. But let's wait and see. We haven't seen the rule yet. We haven't seen the language. We don't even know if it's true. Right now, it's all hearsay and gossip, so to speak. But I have no reason to believe that this organization is lying. It's right in line and in lockstep with how the Biden administration has treated gun owners from day one. So with that said, make sure you guys are paying attention. Elections are coming up. Make sure you get ready to vote. Make sure you find out exactly how the candidates stand. I intend to continue on with my series on restoration. I got some more topics coming up. And as the election gets closer, I'm going to start breaking down the candidates and their position on Second Amendment issues. So with that said, as always, be safe and carry on.